What's up, guys? So I've been asked a lot of questions about what kind of MPCs I use, how do I produce, you know, the overall process of just how I make beats and productions and stuff. And I decided, I thought it was a good idea to kind of compare two of the beat machines that I use the most, or that I have used the most in recent stuff that I've been doing. And so I brought out these two MPCs to kind of just go over, you know, the pros and cons of each one. Realistically, I mean, you're looking at old school, you're looking at new school. Just kind of a background history of MPCs. They were first introduced into the world by Roger Lynn, who was the inventor of the Lynn drum back in, I mean, 80s. I believe it was 80s era. And hip hop producers, well, shoot, it wasn't even really producers in general. They started using them in different ways that they weren't intended to be used, aka sampling from different sound sources and stuff like that. This is the MPC 2000. Most notable users, I guess, would say would be Kanye West. Everybody knows him. Pete Rock's another big one. A lot of the legends in hip hop use this machine to create some, you know, most of the tracks that we remember, you know, and know. You know, some of the biggest tracks that in our memories that we'll remember. And this is the MPC Live, which was just released, I want to say early last year. I had pre-ordered it, you know, waited months and months and got it. And it's currently being used now by producers of this day and age. You know, we're gonna see who's gonna use this to make some classics, and maybe they already have, you know. But yeah, I'm basically just gonna go through a rundown of each one, kind of what they have to offer, and you know, which, in my opinion, I prefer. There are MPC purists out there who say it strictly has to be hardware, which this actually is a hardware unit. This is, I mean, you're looking at, this thing is on right now. There's no power source, but I mean, it's a standalone unit, like this one. So yeah, let's get to it. I'll go ahead and put these on the table and kind of just go over each one and see, you know, what their functionalities are, and yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to start here with the MPC 2000. As you can see, it is a metal device, really heavy duty. This was introduced, I believe, in the year 2000, as you would expect. I could be wrong. These things are, they're just outdated technology as far as memory goes. These things, these machines used to use floppy drives, believe it or not. It wasn't until later that you switched them out for these compact flash cards. Put the reader and just switch it out. You know, it was kind of a bitch. You know, saving your beats. You know, you back in the day, you used to have to, sometimes if the beat file was too big, you had to save it on multiple floppies, and that was just a hassle. That's why you see the old school producers walk, you know, they had a big case full of floppies, you know, which was pretty cool. You know, there's a nostalgic, almost cult following with the old MPCs as far as just having that physical connection with the machine, and just actually being able to touch your hardware, you know, as opposed to like a DAW, like Pro Tools or Logic, where it's just, you know, kids are just doing this shit on, you get yourself, you know, FL Studio on a computer, and you know, you're in business, you can make a whole album for Future, you know. But these things, it was just man and machine, you know. There was no computer. This thing does not hook up to a computer whatsoever. It's a standalone unit. Everything you do is made in here. On the back here, we have, you know, there's you can put a vinyl player. Shoot, I mean, I found a cool little way to, you know, even sample off YouTube and stuff like that with certain splitter cables and stuff. But another selling point for these older MPCs is the circuitry of the output. You know, sometimes when you sample things into older machines, it is subjective, but it's widely agreed that it just sounds better. If you run something through those, you know, SP404s or an SP1200, I think it's an SP404. No, it's the Roland, I don't know, that little sample machine. You know what I mean? Older machines, the circuitry of it is going to allow for a better output and a better sound of what you're sampling. Anyways, long story short, yeah, basically this is just old hardware, you know, needs a power source, does not need a computer. You can sample vinyl, you know, in different sound sources. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch this off. Okay, so anyways, getting back to it. Basically, digital in and out. This is expandable. These are your 8 outputs. So for example, if you want to track out your beat and you want to route the drums or the snare drum to output 1, the keyboard to output 2, the, you know, vinyl crackle sound, I don't know. Basically, you can output up to 8 channels and then put these 8 channels into an interface and go into a computer. So it makes it a lot easier to, you know, basically export all your stuff. Record in left and right. That's what I was telling you about, being able to record off YouTube and stuff. You put a splitter in that and then the other end into your computer. Headphones, obviously, your stereo out. If you want to link up to a big speaker board or sound system or anything, you could hook up monitors, you know, any of that stuff. Got your MIDI in, MIDI out. SCSI, I'm not too sure what that is. I've never used it. And then just time code, clocks and stuff. Let's see, your power source, which I'm missing my button, and your power source. So that's basically the back of the MPC 2000. Got all your Asian writing, that's sick. Asian Electric Co. Yep. These things are sweet, man. A lot of really good stuff was made on these machines. I would highly recommend getting one. If you got the bread to throw around and you think, you know, you'll like it, go ahead and do it. These things sound awesome, and you could probably find some cheap. You might be able to find some of these, you know, for around 400 bucks. So anyways, yeah, that was a breakdown of the MPC 2000. Older technology, but still really awesome. All right, so that one's done. Now we are going to move on to the MPC Live. Okay, so here we are with the MPC Live. Let me change this. Put a cool color, just like, yeah, red's cool. All right, so here's the MPC Live. total opposite end of the spectrum as far as you know, time. This was released early last year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right though. 17 years after the MPC 2000 XL. There's a lot to cover on this, but I'm gonna speed through it and basically tell the differences between this and the MPC 2000. So, as you can see, there are no cables. There is nothing. It's just a standalone unit, which is pretty insane. This is the first time ever that an MPC, or really any beat machine that I can think of with this kind of power and capability, doesn't need a power source. It runs strictly off battery. So obviously I'm at like 65%, but you just charge it up and boom, it's done. This is a powerful machine, man. There's just so many capabilities of this thing. I will say again, the purists might argue that this does not have the same you know, nice output circuitry as some of the older models. It's subjective. I've made beats on both. I love them both for different reasons. But yeah, this thing is still, this thing is sick, man. Some of the features include, you know, warping samples. You can slice, you can make your chops on a sample while you're sampling into it. Literally, all you gotta do is play a sample, press sample. I'll even go to the screen. Go to sampler. Right here, once you click that button and it starts sampling a sound source, once it starts sampling, you see that? It says slice. So boom, boom, that's a slice, that's a slice, that's a slice, that's a slice. And when you save it, it's all gonna be there, sliced up exactly how you did it right here on this screen. I mean, you got, it's becoming to a point where this thing can even be used as a, you know, synthesizer. I've used this and made a snare drum into an actual playable synthesizer. This has plugins. You can use VSTs with this. VSTs meaning plugins that you would use for Logic or Pro Tools, like, you know, and use instruments and put them chromatically on a keyboard. Shoot, you don't even have to do that. Now you have Pad Perform, which basically I can have a sound source like a keyboard or whatever, and then play the actual notes on each pad. It's insane. And then pick my minor, pick whatever, you know, major, minor, all sorts of different scales too. I mean, pentatonic minor, blue, you know, all that kind of stuff. What else? This is a looper. I said that's so nerdy. A looper. Yeah, it's a looper. So, you know, you can make a beat live on stage. Pun intended. You know, and just loop it and make, you know, beatbox and make a whole song right there, you know, in real time. You got a browser, again, instruments. These are playable instruments, so you got bass, keyboard, you know, all sorts of stuff. Places. Another cool thing, a lot of the cool stuff that this has to offer is on the back. So let me go ahead and take you there right now. Here we go. All right, guys, so check this out. I mean, the back of this thing is so awesome. All right, so you got your master volume. This is your left and right, just like on the 2000. If you want to hook up two monitors or a speaker system, or, you know, that's your main two left and right outputs. And you have also 4 additional outs as well. Let's see, this is your phono. So this is direct turntable in, so you can straight get a little vinyl player, one of those ones at Guitar Center or, you know, Sam Ash or whatever, and hook those right in straight up. This is your record volume, so you can set the input volume, input gain and all that stuff, which is really cool. This is your input. Sorry, it's not. Stop with the focusing. Okay. This is your input. So again, this is like sampling into YouTube, you know, your left and right with the splitter. You got your MIDI in, MIDI out, just like on the or on the MPC 2000 XL. SD card. This is huge. You're talking about, I got 64 gigs. Come on. God, these things, damn vlogging cameras are awesome, but they're crazy. 64 gigs, which, you know, they have the cards that are like 128 gigs. This has an SD card slot, so you can have tons and tons and tons of drums, fucking beats that you've, you know, already done, and take them on the go with you. No power source at all whatsoever, and you can make beats on the go. Not only that, you have a USB hub. You can actually hook up a MIDI keyboard to this shit and play the instruments in here, or VSTs. It's like its own DAW, man. This shit is insane. The hub also is for, you know, like a hard drive, you know, different. If you got a big ass hard drive with a bunch of stuff, you don't have to limit yourself to the SD card. You can hook up a terabyte if you want. And that's how you hook up to the computer with the USB. Now, this shit is revolutionary, man. I mean, this is like all these features. It's you know, the possibilities truly are endless. Not only that, boom, right here. You take these you take this cover off, take these 4 screws out, and you can install an SSD drive, you know, a solid state, and upgrade it, you know, have the internal memory be a lot crazier. This thing, man, let me tell you, it's just powerful, man. It is what it is. It's got built-in XY effects. For those of you who don't know, it's like a chaos pad. I don't know how you pronounce it, but do a lot of cool, you know, repeating, like a lot of D-Day stuff, really cool stuff. You have, I think they're called clip mode, where you can launch tracks. It's really useful for live performances. I'm running through it quick. And still, this isn't even that quick of a video, but I'm running through it fast. But you can look up a lot of this information online for more in-depth videos. You got mixers, which the MPC 2000 XL also had a mixer, but again, it's very limited. You know, you can't really, in order for you to put effects and stuff, like here I have sends, inserts, you know, all that kind of stuff. I got routing. On the 2000 XL, for the mixer to put like reverb and like different effects, you had to get an effects chip and actually install it, which is kind of crazy. That's kind of awesome too. Song mode. This is where you sample or you edit your sample. The crazy thing about this here, let me load up a sample really quick. Places, MPC card, drums. See, I'm going through a lot of my stuff right here. Let me see. Pads, mellow pad. All right, so I just put something on this. So, program edit. All right, sample edit. So boom, I loaded up a sample, right? So I just loaded up a sample. Now look at this. I can touchscreen, man. You can cut a damn waveform with your fingers. So let's say I want to cut that. All right, so I just cut that shit out. Look at this. I mean, you can get so precise with your cuts, man. It's like, the sampling has never been easier, really. Let's see, I go to chop. So I want chops to be, those are all chops. And then I could, look at that. And then I can go and adjust the end points, or the start points and the end points. Look, there's another chop, and I can adjust it. And that's how it'll play. It'll play like that. See, look, it's coordinating with each slice. Fucking dope. So yeah, the possibilities are absolutely endless in this thing, man. I just wanted to give a quick rundown of each one and kind of explain why they're good, you know, pros and cons type stuff. Let's see. Q links. So you can assign these 4 knobs in banks of 4 to correspond with these and have them do different things, which is pretty insane. You can put different pad colors. So let's say I want fixed, okay. Say I want single pad. So let's say I want these 3 to be yellow, these 3 to be red, yellow, blue. You could just basically do them however you want to do them. I'll probably go more in depth on this one on the MPC Live because there's just too much to cover. But yeah, so that's basically the MPC Live. Thing is sick. Alright guys, so basically that was a rundown of the MPC 2000 and the MPC Live. They both have their pros and cons. They come from a different era. I mean, you're looking at grandpa, you're looking at grandson, you know. Which one do I prefer personally? It's an opinion. No disrespect to anybody, the purist or the new school. I personally prefer, for my productions nowadays, the Live. Just because, again, the Live has been created based off of every MPC that's ever been released, and they just built more and more. The digital aspect of it, honestly, it doesn't make a difference to me. Shit sounds nice. I can still make lo-fi sounding stuff with this just fine. It's my personal preference. Respect to the purists. I love, you know, I respect what y'all do. And I respect the gear. I respect the old gear. But, you know, again, I've made tons of shit on this, but this, I could make a beat with this 1,000,000 times faster than I ever could with this. You know, now, if it's a Sunday and I'm just chilling and I just feel like, again, you know, kind of getting that old school feel and making something, you know, with vinyl and all that kind of stuff, I'll use it. I'm never gonna get rid of the 2000. It's timeless. It's timeless, and it's gonna be with me forever. But the fact that I don't have to use an external, you know, power cord or anything like that, I could have all those beats with me on a card, you know, and basically make beats anywhere. It makes it a lot easier to make beats and stuff nowadays. This one, as far as pricing goes, obviously you shop around, you'll find different stuff. The MPC Live is gonna run you about $1,200, I want to say $1,200. It's well worth it. They do have an MPC X, kind of similar to this, a bigger style, huge screen, touch screen. It's I believe it's not wireless though, and for that reason, that's why I went with the Live. Again, first and only MPC that can do that. Huge deal. These vary depending on the quality. If you know, it's starting to get to that point where they're, you know, it's almost like comics or something, you know, when they grade them and stuff. It's depending on the condition is what your pricing is going to be. I'd say 400 is what you could find one without the 8 outputs in the back and without this CF card reader, stuff like that. You'll have to install later. MPCstuff.com, they have a lot of good stuff for updating these type things and the older models. But yeah, I think I covered it all, guys. If you have any questions, you know, comment below, like, you know, subscribe, and you know, let's chat. Let me know if you have any questions on these type of things. I'll be glad to answer some of them. Either way, the main thing is it's not about the gear. Just like any, you know, I'm really into firearms and stuff. And it's really not so much about the guns, it's more your training and what you're doing with it and how you're learning to utilize these tools. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't really about the gear so much. You can make stupid nasty shit with this, like ridiculous fucking beats with this. It's just this offers some more you know, features that would make it a little bit easier, but don't get it twisted. You know, there's no such thing as it'll, you know, you have this machine or this machine, you're gonna make better music. That's all subjective. Music's music, you know what I mean? So anyways, guys, I'll stop rambling. Thank you guys again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.